Well, I've always enjoyed volunteering in the community, and so recently I've been involved with several different projects. I volunteer weekly with the Gliding Stars, and that's a ice skating program for children and adults with special needs, and my partner is a lovely lady. And I also volunteer weekly with Meals on Wheels and deliver meals to several women and have developed relationships with those women to whom I deliver. I've been a diligent worker for the Overflow Shelter for the Homeless and helped to develop the program and bring it to my church, the First Presbyterian Church of the Covenant. While I'm there, it's really important for me to develop personal relationships with all the guests that we have, and I coordinate the food for that, and I distribute the clothing, and we have fewer women than men at the shelter, but the women are much needier than the men. They're very, very afraid. And I initiated a program called Sunday Suppers that we started really as an outgrowth of the Overflow Shelter program, and it's a free Sunday evening meal that is offered to anyone who is homeless or living in poverty or who is food insecure. My passion is really with the homeless and the underserved. And so the Overflow Shelter has given me a great deal of joy, but my passion right now is really with Sunday Suppers. It has been amazing to see how that has grown and developed since last July when we began. It has been energizing for me to see the different churches and organizations who have partnered with us at First Church of the Covenant and come and prepare and serve the meals. It has been energizing to me to help others see our guests as valuable guests and valuable human beings. I think that the most touching moment for me was when the shelter had just left our church that Wednesday morning to go to another church, and I was there for our Wednesday evening programming, and somebody yelled into the room, "There's a couple here looking for the Overflow Shelter." So I went out, and it was a mom and a dad and a little boy about 1.5 or 2, and they had him in a shopping cart. And it was a bitter cold night. And I told them that I would help them. I went back into the programming to get my husband and started to cry and couldn't speak. And that has really helped me see where my heart is. I would say that my first mentor in helping others would have been my dad. When I was a little girl growing up, my father was very civic-minded. He was always helping others. He was always doing things out in the community, even to the point where he built an ice skating rink all by himself for the community and maintained it for several years. So I grew up just thinking that that's how you lived life. But a defining moment for me came when our previous pastor, Dale and Elizabeth Southhorn, really mentored me. They helped me to see that I had skills and abilities that could be used outside of my faith community as well as inside. And they really started to teach me about having a servant heart. My husband, Tim, has been a wonderful mentor to me in so many ways, but in particularly helping me to see how to achieve balance in life and knowing when it's okay to say no and knowing what things energize me as opposed to drain me. I think that first of all, I would advise them that go ahead and take risks. Secondly, I would advise them to realize you can't do it all yourself. And the third thing that I would tell women is to follow your heart. It's important to take risks because if you don't take risks, you don't know what possibilities are out there. And it's okay to not be successful. You still learn from it. Had I not taken risks, I would have never found my passion for working with the homeless and the underserved. So it's important to take risks. And it's also important to ask for help. As women, we sometimes think we can just do it all, and we try to be super women, and I've learned over the years that that's just foolhardy. And lastly, I would advise to follow your heart, because if you don't follow your heart, you're just treading water. In his song, With Every Act of Love, Jason Gray sings that God put a million doors in this world for his love to walk through, and one of those doors is you. And I really believe in that. I believe there are millions of opportunities out there just waiting for someone to recognize that opportunity and walk through that door and help someone else or lead a group of people to help someone else. There's just endless possibilities.